tell me specifically like why I would buy this attachment. So like I'm in this industry. I do a lot of cutting trees, things like that. Why am I buying this?
This attachment right here, a lot of people pair it. Some people use it as just the grapple, but a lot of people will pair it. You can pair it with another machine with a grapple saw. If you've got two, you can run simultaneously. You can be cutting, placing, picking with this, putting in a chipper, whatever you're gonna do. It just keeps you, really autonomous. It keeps you like an assembly line almost. It really,
so
really
what's
makes
the
it
added
simple.
benefits? I mean, there's other people that make stuff like this, so why would I buy yours versus somebody else's?
Well, I think that comes back to your machine and pairing it with it. You get the benefit of the attachment recognition, the ease of operation. You get already paired. You're not going to throw another attachment on here and have the same effect. You're not going to get your automatically adjusted load charts and stuff like that. So if you're going to run the Merlo, you've got to run the Merlo attachments, and it comes as a pair. You learn it, you know it, and then not only that, you don't have to just say right now we're in front of a rotator. If you run the 5018 on our stabilized units or the 120 as our high capacity, these same attachments will work all the way across. So you can have an attachment on here, you can drop it, swap it to the other machine. It goes all the way across. It keeps your attachment purchase to a minimum.
That's excellent. So basically what you're saying is any piece of machinery I can quickly swap back and forth between either of them. And on top of that, if something goes wrong or if something breaks down or anything like that, you can always just borrow from the other machine.
Absolutely. Now, you've got your exceptions like anything else, different carriage styles and stuff like that, but for the most part, we're across the board.
Okay. So one of the things that Briggs was talking about, right, Briggs?
Brig.
Yeah, Brig.
Yep.
Brig was talking about was that essentially that it has a very cool technology built into this so that the operator gets to know the information about it as something that happens immediately. What is that?
Absolutely. We've got it's paired right through the attachment recognition. We've got on our machines, we've got what we call an ASCS weight system. And so, we've got load cells in the top of the lifting pistons. We've got sensors in the tilt cylinders and everything. So it lets you know exactly where you're at, what your load is, anything like that. But when you pair the certain machine or the certain attachment with the machine, like this obviously it'll have a little bit less capacity than the machine normally would. So it adjusts your load chart inside. That way you're safe. You can't go out of the parameter. It takes the pressure off of your operator. Nowadays I don't want to say that. Never mind.
So many things going on at once. I mean, in all honesty, and having the ability to see everything right in front of you,
absolutely,
that makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
One less thing you got to calculate.
You don't really have to have as seasoned of an operator. That's the way I'll put it. You can bring these younger guys in and put them in the machine, and the learning time's a lot quicker. It doesn't take as much to get to that point. The machine does a lot of it for you and just takes out the stress
time to
of
operation,
it.
like time to actually function is actually quicker.
Absolutely.
Training's going to be quicker, more effective for them.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So why don't we do this? Would you mind? Can we actually see what that looks like? And can you actually show that on the screen and stuff like that inside the cab?
Absolutely.
Let's
Absolutely.
go inside the cab. Basically, so one of the things that was brought up before from Brig was that the cabs are very similar in between each different machine, right?
Absolutely.
So what are some of those key things that are going to be universal between them? Like the chair, the seat, the bucket. Like what's the?
Man, you have the seat, the steering wheel, the columns, the controls, everything. Everything is pretty much across the board. On some of our smaller machines, you don't have that center post. You just have one piece of glass. But for the most part, our modular system is what we call it. You've got the modular cabs across the board. You got a couple outliers, but that's it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of not just from a cab standpoint either. It's machine as a whole. There's so much commonality across all of them, across your parts. It takes down your stocking levels. It takes down all of that. It also makes the ease for the operator again, and that's what we try to hit on all the time is the ease of operation. You can go from this machine to a high capacity to a compact to anything, and you hop in it and you're looking at the same thing you were looking at before pretty much. Yeah, this right here is our UVG screen. This is where all your calculations are going to come through, all of your weights, all of your sensor readings. You can set different operator settings. You can control, the extent of each function that you do.
So you can save a different operator setting, like
Absolutely.
preset. So like
Absolutely.
Bob comes in, hits the button. Stacy comes in, hits the button.
Absolutely.
Boom, it's now set up for that person.
Yep, and you can set it by person, you can set it by job. You can, say you're on a job and you've got some overhead restriction. You can set your height at a certain point. That way, no matter what, there's no accidents, there's no anything. Once it hits that point, boom, you're stopped.
The idea is set and forget it.
Absolutely.
Right? Just not having to worry about it.
The whole point of everything we've talked about really is the ease of operation and what it takes off of the person you put in the cab. And nowadays there's a shortage of seasoned operators, and the workforce is getting younger and younger, and it takes, from being able to put this many people in there, you can put this many people now. You can put them in there and they can learn it. I always say the best way to teach somebody on these machines is let them sit in the cab for just a little bit of time.
Excellent.
They're very user-friendly, very easy to learn.
Hands-on operation is your best opportunity for education and training. Right?
Absolutely. So. And nowadays, everybody's kind of used to the buttons and the screens, and everything's getting more and more technologically advanced, so it's not a spaceship anymore like some people used to say.
Spaceship.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.